This is Northport Now, where we bring you everything happening in and around our city. From a new city gathering space to improvements to our stormwater system, we've got you covered. Here's what you need to know this week. On Wednesday, July 9th, the city will break ground on the Circle of Honor, a meaningful new site that will honor veterans of all U.S. military forces, past, present, and future. This special ceremony marks the beginning of a space dedicated to recognizing the courage, sacrifice, and service of those who have worn the uniform. You're invited to be part of this moment as we take the first step in creating a lasting tribute and a new gathering space in the heart of our city. The event begins at 9 a.m. in the northeast corner of the City Hall parking lot. For more information about this project, visit northportfl.gov/current projects. Journey into the future as the city begins creating a Parks and Recreation master plan. We'll be shaping priorities for future park improvements, programming, trails, accessibility, and more. And we want to hear from you. This week, we're hosting 2 open house-style public workshops where you can learn more about the master plan and share your thoughts directly with our team. The workshops will be July 9th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the George Mullen Activity Center, or July 10th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Morgan Family Community Center. They're designed to be flexible so you can stop by at any time during the meeting to explore interactive stations, review planning materials, and speak with staff and consultants about the future of Northport's Parks and Rec system. Let us know what's working, what could be improved, and what new ideas you'd like to see brought to life. If you can't make it to either session, you can still share your vision with us by taking an online survey. Visit northportfl.gov/Parks and Rec Master Plan to learn more. Here's a quick update on Freedom Festival, which was unfortunately postponed due to the weather forecast last week. City staff has set the new date for Saturday, August 30th. The rescheduled Freedom Festival will maintain the same spirit of celebration with live music, food trucks, family activities, and of course, fireworks lighting up the night sky. We're excited to bring everyone together for an amazing celebration in August. Since implementing the Accela online permit processing system, the city has seen huge improvements in the processing and review times for most permits. According to recent data, average processing times have been reduced from 20 to 40 days to fewer than 10 days. The switch to Accela has made doing business with the city quicker and more efficient. Here's some more proof. More than 80% of certificates of zoning compliance are now processed and reviewed in less than 5 days. And over 90% of building permits are being processed and reviewed within 3 to 5 days. Before Accela and the adoption of the new Unified Land Development Code processes, only 68% of building permit applications were processed in fewer than 30 days. We're constantly working to improve our system, and we welcome your feedback. Visit northportfl.gov/permitting to learn more about Accela and get in touch with our building division team. The city's Department of Public Works recently completed a large-scale debris removal project along Myakkahatchee Creek, which is a vital part of Northport's stormwater management system. Here to tell us a little bit more about it is Deputy Public Works Director Tricia Wisner. Tricia, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, Tricia, this was a really big project. Tell us how much of the creek was involved and how much debris was actually removed.
This was an exceptionally important project for the Department of Public Works. It went from really the terminus of the city, so all the way up by Estates Drive to Price. Now, this was the portion of the project that was done through a grant with the Natural Resources Conservation Service. However, afterwards, our team also cleared invasive species all the way to the end of the creek. So it's over 6.5 miles that were cleared.
Wow. And how much was actually pulled out?
Over 10,000 cubic yards of debris. That's a ton of debris. So we are able to remove this and really open up the creek. So for those people that like to kayak, the creek is now in a much better shape to enjoy a kayak or even just walk alongside the creek.
So a project like this takes a lot of coordination. I know there was a lot involved. Who are some of the partners that had to come to the table for this, and what happened behind the scenes for the work to get done?
This project actually started a month after Ian, which is really hard to think about since we're 3 years out right now. Right after Hurricane Ian hit the city, we realized that there was major debris that was deposited within this creek. We reached out to all agencies to see what avenues would be available for us to get grant funding. It's not cheap to pull this much debris out of a situation like this. Also, there's a lot of regulatory agencies. So we worked with Army Corps of Engineers. They had to provide a permit. We worked with Southwest Florida Water Management District, which we call SwiftMud, who also provided a permit. That permit process takes some time. To get the grant funding for this, we had to work with the Florida Division of Historical Resources, the Florida State Archaeologist, the United States Department of Agriculture, so USDA, and the Natural Resources Conservation Service, which was the agency that ended up providing us a multi-million-dollar grant to get this work done.
So you mentioned it wasn't cheap. What was the price tag, and how much of the grant funding was able to help with that price tag?
The project cost just about $3.5 million, and we were able to receive $2,758,000 to help with this project.
That's awesome. So why is the creek so important, and what are the benefits of doing this work, especially now as we move into another storm season?
That's a great question. So the creek is really the backbone of our stormwater system. The creek runs north and south throughout the city, and it empties into the Myakka River, which then goes into Charlotte Harbor. Now, the city was really created on wetlands. So as general development came in here to make the land available to build, they cut what we're so familiar with, all these waterways and canals through the city. The canals empty into the Myakkahatchee Creek. So if you look at the city, the water really flows from north to south and from west to east. And that eastern run, north-south, is the Myakkahatchee Creek.
So having this done now is going to greatly improve, hopefully, what we see when we get those rainy, deluges that we get in this part of Florida.
The maintenance of this creek is a key component to the stormwater system, and being able to remove this much debris should make substantial impacts. This goes along with so many other projects the city is doing, including lining pipes so that we have better flow through these old pipes that were installed in the 60s, from regrading swales. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes just to make sure that the water will flow.
All right. Thank you for educating us about this project. I know you can go on our website, northportfl.gov/stormwater, and learn a lot more about what Public Works does every year to maintain our system. So thank you for the work that you do, and thank you for being here, Tricia.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to Northport Now. Be sure to check out our show notes for links and more details on everything we cover today. Have a great week, Northport, and don't forget to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay connected.